Hare Krishna. Question: do seeds contain souls? Just as life is manifested through the soul present in the semen in human form, what about plants? It seems logical that the soul should be there in the seeds, but then sometimes seeds remain active for years to inactive for years together, and they may still stay in a biologically okay condition, and when a proper conducive environment comes up, they fertilize. So does it mean that the soul was present in those seeds for all that time, or that when the soul became when the seed came in a situation where a light, right, where it could germinate and grow, at that time a soul entered over there? Answer: Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate. So he said the soul is unmanifested and it is achintya, it's inconceivable. So inconceivable, Prabhupada explains that it cannot be understood except by Shastra Pramana. And previous Acharyas said that we can infer its existence, but beyond that we cannot know so much about it. So in general, scripture doesn't talk in detail about the post-mortem journeys or the transmigratory journeys specifically from one species to another. The trajectories, they don't talk about it so much. So the two principles are important to understand. That is, that wherever there is consciousness, even if it is preliminary level, there the soul has to be there, because chetana is a characteristic of the Atma. There is no chetana in matter. And the second thing is that wherever matter is undergoing transformations, so the subjective or the experiential aspect of the presence of the soul is the presence of consciousness. That there is even at a preliminary level, and now more and more researchers have found out that even plants do have consciousness. Plants respond to various stimuli, including different kinds of emotions. So now this is subjective. Now there is a school of philosophy which says that it's ultimately not a school. There's an idea in philosophy that ultimately we can't know that other people are conscious. We can only know that I am conscious, and others may well be programmed machines responding. How do we know that they are having any inner subjective experience at all? Of course, we can intuitively see that by the way others respond, but it is quite difficult objectively from a ultra critical point of view to try to prove that others have consciousness. So we can't know whether any particular creature, what to speak of other human beings also, whether they are conscious or not. If we go by ultra critical scrutiny, we can't really prove that. Whatever way they behave, which we might say demonstrates consciousness, we could very well say that it demonstrates nothing more than a programmed stimulus response mechanism. So now the way we can infer the presence of the soul to some extent in an objective way is that ensouled matter. Ensouled matter means matter in which soul is present behaves differently from ordinary matter. So ordinary matter, there is creation, there is deterioration, and there is destruction. If we build a house, the house is built, then it starts getting discolored. It's termite. If it is made of wood, termites start eating it, or the cracks start appearing in its concrete. It gets deteriorated, and eventually it is destroyed. But when there is life, when there is consciousness present, when there is soul present, then that particular system, which is a living system, as we say, that undergoes multiple changes. So it is created, or we could say it's born, then it grows, it reproduces, it strives, it maintains itself. If our body is cut, if a finger is cut, the finger will try to heal itself. If a bar is cut, the bar doesn't try to rejoin itself. So it doesn't create any enzymes or anything by which it can rejoin itself. So then after that there is deterioration and destruction. So this is a characteristic of life. Now when we look at seeds at a particular stage in their growth, they start showing such things. So whenever seeds start showing such things, at that time surely soul has to be present. The seeds are growing, they're germinating, they are transforming. So that sort of transformation, biologically, there has to be a conducive environment for that to take place. But the soul needs to be present for that to happen. And now, so normally speaking, when there is normal cross pollination happening, so yes, seed has to be present for the eventually reproduction to take place, the seeds to germinate, and for a new plant to manifest. But if a particular biochemical medium is no longer suitable for the soul, say for example a seed, as you said, seed is living for a long, it's just there for a long time, then does the soul stay present over there all the time? Not necessarily. We also know that when the biochemical or biothermal environment becomes very hostile for a soul, the soul may leave, not because the soul is burnt, but because the biothermal environment is no longer suitable for the soul to function in any way. That's why we have that seeds, if they are roasted, they do not fructify, they do not germinate. Karma, and we have Brahma Samhita taking this example to say karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. So our karma bija, it is burned away by the process of bhakti, and when it's burned away, it no longer reproduces, it no longer germinates and grows. Similarly, the point is that there are certain biochemical environments, biothermal environments, which can be hostile. So the seed will no longer grow at that time. So that means the soul is no longer present there, and that's why the seed is not growing. So specifically what happens, it can vary. If some souls have a specific karma by which they are meant to be staying for a long time in an inactive, incarcerated state, then a soul may stay locked in a seed, in a locked sort of condition, even in a seed, for a long time. But it is not necessary that just as it's not that every sperm has to have a soul in it, similarly it's not necessary that every seed has to have a soul in it. Rather, by karmana daivanetrena, by the divine vision of providence, those seeds which do have souls, which are meant to get a plant body in the next embodiment, at that time those souls are moved, whether through environmental factors like wind or through pollinatory agents like insects. They are moved and they are brought in contact with appropriate environments where they will germinate. So the souls are wherever there is reproduction, there is maintenance, there is growth, their soul is present. Now whether in the source of that, the seed, whether the soul was present at all times or at some times, for some time only, just prior to the activation, that will vary according to the karma of the particular soul. Because the soul is achintya, we cannot know specifically about whether the soul is present all the time in the seeds. Thank you. Hare Krishna.